minute since I've recorded something. It's probably been over a month, maybe 2 months since I last recorded something. Because even in my last video, all the footage for that was filmed like a month prior to me uploading it. So it's been a while. I've taken a bit of a break because nothing that is worth filming is going on in my life. And I've been feeling very uninspired. A lot of stuff also happened in my personal life, which I don't feel comfortable talking about. And so I haven't felt that it was even right to film what was going on in my life because it just felt like wrong timing, wrong situations, wrong placements. It just wasn't lining up. But as you can see, something has changed because you are now seeing me. And as you can probably see, this is not a room that you recognise. I'm currently up in Suffolk visiting my granddad and we're just spending time with him. He's getting older now and you know, you want to make the most of being around them while you can. But anyway, I don't know, I just have a sudden urge to film something. I don't know what I'm going to film yet, what it's going to be about, I don't know. I just want to film things that I find pretty because there's a lot of negativity in daily life and sometimes we get too bummed out and put down by these things. I don't know what this is. I don't even know what I'm saying, I'm just here. In the now. I don't know. I'm trying to be like philosophical and it's just not translating. It's just not in my nature to be deep. As you can just tell, I've just woken up from a nap. And you know it's a good nap when you have lines all over your face. I don't know what it is about October, but it's napping season. It looks really cool outside, look. the weather has been absolutely awful. It has been raining every single day. Even the days where I managed to get out in some sort of gap in the weather, it seems to be that there's no wildlife or animal in sight. So instead of going outwards to find wildlife and nature, I have come within my own home. So I have lots of plants in my house. And to be exact, I have 55 separate species in my home, which is quite a lot. But rather than talking about every single species I have in this home, I've chosen my 4 favourites. First up, we have the African milk tree, and as the name suggests, this plant comes from Central Africa. In some conditions, it can grow 10 feet and above. Obviously in the UK it will not get as tall as that. However, they still get pretty big. For example, the one we currently have, it's my mum's plant and she's had it for at least 5 years and it has tripled in growth since she purchased it. And the milk part of their name comes from the milky sap they produce when cut into. This sap is toxic, and although it's got the characteristics of a cactus, they're actually a succulent. Now, going from a wannabe cactus to an actual cactus, we're next talking about the tree cactus. I only have a little one. I actually bought it when it was only about 2 inches tall, and now it's, you know, a whopping 12 inches tall. It's getting pretty big now. I've had it for at least 10 years. Unlike the African milk tree, they are slow growers. However, in their own time, they will become quite big beasts. In their native habitat in Brazil, they can grow up to 10 meters and sometimes even taller in the perfect conditions. And these plants are also quite amazing in the fact that they were traditionally used for medicinal purposes to help things such as fevers, inflammation and pain. And what's great about these plants is that they're also non-toxic. So for people who have pets roaming around the house, they are completely non-toxic to your pets. If going from the dry climates of Brazil, we are now heading to the tropical rainforests of Central America, to where we find the most famous houseplant out there, the Swiss cheese plant. Although very common in people's households, in the wild they are actually quite rare. They get their famous name from the holes within their leaves, which serve an actual really important purpose. They help protect them against heavy rainfall and wind, as the wind and rain can just go straight through the leaves without potentially breaking and snapping them off. The younger leaves don't develop holes until they become a bit more mature. These are hemiphytes, meaning that they are an epiphyte for part of their life. An epiphyte is a plant that lives on another plant. They actually start off just a plant in the soil and eventually travel across the forest floors until they find the right tree trunk for them. And from this they spread up the tree trunk into great big plants, trying to get as much sunlight as possible. The Latin name of this plant, Monstera deliciosa, is aimed towards its delicious fruit that it produces. A very rare fruit seen in the wild. It's described as all the fruits in one, and it's like a fruit salad, and the monster part of the name comes from just its strange leaves. And although having a delicious fruit that they produce, the rest of the plant is actually extremely toxic. From one hemiphyte to an epiphytic plant, we are now moving on to the moth orchid. Again, another famous plant that we see in our households all the time. Native to Southeast Asia and Australia, these plants grow again on other trees, generally high up in tall trees where they have aerial roots holding them on. The actual plant itself is generally quite small. However, in the right conditions, they are able to produce these magnificent and big flowers. Another reason why these plants are so popular in people's homes is because they're known to generally improve the air quality of your home, and some people even notice that in the early morning they produce a stronger fragrance. And that's it for the houseplant little talk here. Again, sorry that I couldn't go out and show you the local wildlife. The weather has been awful, but hopefully within the next few days the weather will improve. However, I did just get an amber alert for a hurricane tomorrow, so I don't know what's happening, but I hope you enjoyed this little indoor plant section. And if you don't have indoor plants, think about getting even just the one. I suggest definitely getting like a succulent or a cactus, because they are nearly impossible to kill and they're so easy to look after. You can literally neglect them for weeks on end and they'll still be okay. However, I do recommend putting in the effort with them, because when you do, you really do see the beauty of them, especially when they flower. It's absolutely beautiful. And if you do have houseplants, this is a reminder to give them some attention, because there's so many times where I have accidentally neglected them and face the consequences of it. So this is a reminder to those of you that do have plants that you either need to water them or just give them a check through. Again, I still don't really know what to call this section of my videos, and if you have any suggestions of what to call this little bit of the videos, leave a comment, give me some ideas, because I am rubbish at coming up with names. But yeah, peace and love, and I will see you soon. Mwah. Something I have been waiting for has finally been delivered, which means I can finally do what I've been wanting to do for a couple days now.